Hi, this is John Patrick Hickey. I want to welcome you to the video cast. There are two groups of people, really, and that is there are those who are starters and those who are finishers. Well, actually, let me correct myself. There's actually three groups, because then there's also that group that actually finish what they start. Those are what you call successful. Those are the success-minded people who actually achieve their dreams. You see, it's good to have starters. It's good to have finishers. But real success only comes when you finish what you start. You have to be able to get the whole project done. One of the great things about working in teams is that you can have people who are stronger in one area at the place that you need to have them. That way, in the process of doing a project, that you're able to cover all those bases and get everybody to the finish line. I remember at one time I had a job and we were opening a huge theater, and part of my responsibility was to oversee the project and to help figure out how this is going to function from a service point of view. And the person who was in charge of the project was a great starter. I mean, this guy was actually a big inspiration to me. I loved working with him because he had drive, he had passion, and he knew exactly what he needed to do. He had opened theaters all over the world, and he was just on top of his game. When it came to putting this team together, he was great in that he knew each person's responsibility, and he kept you in your responsibility. I've worked on teams where everybody's kind of like hit and miss all over the place, and you got 80 different assignments. Some of them you know what you're doing, some of them you have no idea what you're doing. But he didn't do that. He had specific people to do specific things, and as a team, we worked together to get it to the final project. When the theater opened, this thing was up and running, and it was a glorious success. It really was, something to be very proud of. Of course, he was offered a position of staying and running this thing and seeing it all the way through. That, he started this project and there he was. The first thing he did when it was up and running and everything had been put in place was resign. Because he was a starter. He had to go and start a different project. And I'm sure, and now this was many years ago, I'm sure that to this day he's still starting things somewhere, because that was what he did. That was his strong point. But he also had the ability to see it through and get the project done. I don't know if you've ever worked with anybody who is a good starter there, and maybe it is you. You get things started, you really know how to put a project together, and then as you're working on it, the enthusiasm kind of draws down and you kind of fade out. And you might have folders complete with started projects that were never finished. We face those things all the time. But in order to be successful, you got to see it through to the end. Martial arts expert Luke Rockhold said that to really be successful, to be strong, you finish everything that you start. You can't take a break. And that's the thing to keep reminding yourself. You can't take a break. You gotta see it through to the end. I'll tell you, I'm one of those people who tends to be a good starter. I get an idea for a writing project or something that I want to do, and I can do the research, I can get things together, and I really enjoy that part of the process. With me, the part of writing that is probably the most difficult is writing. is actually taking all the research that I've gotten and put it down into words that's created into a book. That is a difficult project for me, but I see it through. I make myself move on through. And let me give you a little tip here, a little idea. This works for me, and maybe it'll help you. When the enthusiasm for what I'm doing starts to lessen a bit, and I'm just kind of putting in my time and making sure that I get it done, it's at that point that I start the next project. See, if I'm looking forward to doing something new, I'm more likely to bring what I'm doing to a complete end, in order to complete my project, to finish what I'm doing, because I already know what the next one is, and I'm excited about the next one. So I take that enthusiasm and I use it to push me along into the next thing. You have to be able to finish. Too many of us start things and never get them done. And the problem with that is that you will never succeed if all you have is a collection of started works and you don't have anything that's finished. Finish your projects. Finish the things that you begin, and you will enjoy the success of that and the fruits of those successes as well. I also want to encourage you with this, that always, whatever you start, you be your best. You love God, have good manners, discover the unknown, and change your world. Hi, this is John Patrick Hickey again. I want to thank you for spending time watching the video cast. I do hope that these add value to you, that they encourage you, that they give you principles and information that you can use in your everyday life. That's our purpose for being here. The Growth Center was designed and created in order to help you to become the very best that you were created to be, to fulfill all of those dreams and desires that you've had, to accomplish your goals and your dreams. Now, I also want to encourage you to get other material besides this video cast, which, by the way, if right below here, you're going to see a little button that's called subscribe. I do hope that you subscribe to this video cast so that regularly when we put these up, you'll be notified and you can watch them. But I also want you to go over to the website, which is at www.johnpatrickhickey.com. There you're going to find books and other materials to help you to grow and to continue to pursue those goals. Again, that's www.johnpatrickhickey.com. And thank you again for joining us.